truth, logic, common sense, that gut feeling, and yes, even a little psychoanalysis. As we are once again together, you and I. We are together, you and I, to discuss a new case. Donna Adelson, y'all. I'm sitting here in my bedroom. I released 2 videos yesterday, a general overview, along with the probable cause affidavit. It's Sunday morning. It's gorgeous outside, but it's going to be a scorcher. And I'm sitting here with my KJ in the Ray cup, Justice Through Understanding. Y'all remember those? Anyway, so as I got up this morning, I'm like, it's Sunday. And for all this talk about how all these people out here do all this criminality, whether it's through evil, it's just absolutely devastating that these crimes happen all over the country and in the world. I thought about it. I'm like, it's Sunday, is there nothing good I can say at all about Donna Adelson? Well, folks, OKJ don't know anything good to say about Donna Adelson. But as I was doing a little research, there was a Ben Graber who had been longtime friends of Harvey and Donna and, their little family and all of that. And he's the only one that stepped forward in the media to say nice things about Donna, along with saying he didn't think she'd done anything wrong, that he just couldn't believe it. So this was an article in the Miami Herald, and the reason I bring this to you is because it's really kind of lopsided for me to just talk of the fact that I feel like Donna Adelson's guilty and the way she's acted, i.e., her hubris, her arrogance. Y'all, let's just recall. Wasn't it Summer Shiflett and Janice that went out there on national media and said Lori was this wonderful person? So I thought, well, okay. All right, let's read this article into the record here on this channel. This is a article from the Miami Herald by Julia K. Brown and Anna Claudia Chaikin. So it was updated on December 4th of 2023. So that's not too long ago. And this fella, this Ben Graber guy, he wants to explain who Donna Adelson is from his point of view. And, people could get stuck with all kinds of actions that Donna took and not really look at the whole environmental view. Y'all know I'm a stickler for that. I believe this guy really thinks that Donna didn't do anything wrong. But let's just read the article into the record. It's called From Mom of a 5-Star Family to Murder for Hire Charge, Donna Adelson's Dark Fall. Donna Adelson wanted nothing but the best for her children. A former teacher, she worked part-time in her husband Harvey's busy dentistry practice while juggling the demands of 3 children, community volunteering, and active membership in her Coral Springs synagogue. Her driving goal, said family friend Ben Graber, a gynecologist and former state lawmaker, was to raise her kids to be academic achievers, humanitarians, and upstanding citizens. Graber says they are what I would call a 5-star family. That makes it hard for him, who knew the Adelsons for 40 years, to fathom how a family he considered pillars of the community would be at the center of the most notorious murder for hire plot in Florida in the last decade. Both Donna Adelson, a 73-year-old grandmother, and her son, Charlie Adelson, 47, are behind bars. Donna is charged with first-degree murder and solicitation of murder, and her son has already been convicted in the 2014 Tallahassee slaying of Dan Markell, a Florida State University law scholar once married to Wendy Adelson, a fellow legal professor who is Donna's only daughter. Donna Adelson was arrested November 13th at Miami International Airport as she and her husband Harvey were about to board a one-way flight to Vietnam. That short-circuited trip to a country with no extradition treaty with the United States came just 1 week after a jury had convicted Charlie Adelson of hiring 2 hitmen from Miami to kill Markel amid a vicious battle with Wendy over custody of their 2 children. Harvey and Wendy have never been charged with any crime in a plot entangling a disparate cast of characters, including a hitman with Miami gang ties. The sensational case has riveted a state capitol that still has small-town sensibilities and been pored over by newspapers, podcasters, and true crime shows for nearly a decade. But for all the court hearings and attention, it still seems almost incomprehensible why a mother and son from such a respectable, successful family would launch what prosecutors have described as a cold-blooded but sloppily planned killing to win a child custody fight. The risks were immense for Donna. She could end up in prison for the rest of her life and destroy the family she so treasured. It's the question few who knew the family have been willing to address. Former neighbors won't talk. Donna's friends seem to have disappeared. Their former rabbi, who was contacted by the Miami Herald, also declined to speak about a family that was part of their temple for years. The Herald was unsuccessful in reaching her defense attorney. Graber, who served as a state lawmaker, Broward commissioner, and mayor in a long career, seems the only person who has gone public with support for the Adelsons as the charges and convictions mounted. He just doesn't buy the plot line that police and prosecutors have laid out. Quote, "I've been watching this from afar and waiting for someone to speak up. Finally, I felt I had to say something," unquote, says Graber. "This is just impossible. They would never have done this." Graber said he first met the couple when he moved to quiet Coral Springs in the 1970s and opened his gynecology practice. "We were among a lot of the young families from the Northeast who found Coral Springs a city in the country with a lot of promise," he said. "We would open our practices and our wives would run the front office. It was not unusual back then for a professional to have a wife in the front office assisting." Donna and Harvey Adelson both grew up in New York City. Donna went to Queens College and became an elementary school teacher, and Harvey graduated from the University of Buffalo before earning his Doctor of Medicine in Dentistry at Temple University. The couple had married in 1971. In South Florida, Donna left teaching to help Harvey and to spend much of her time at home caring for their 3 children, Robert, Charlie, and Wendy. Family was Donna's focus. In 1986, she was a contestant on the game show Wheel of Fortune. Now, let's just stop there for a minute. Is this dang ringing any dang memories for anybody? Lori was on Wheel of Fortune, and here we have Donna Adelson played on Wheel of Fortune. Y'all, is that a coincidence? I guess it is, but then again, there are a lot of coincidences in this case, and this one just kind of takes the cake. Describing herself as a domestic coordinator responsible for the activities, classes, and lessons, that's what she said of herself on Wheel of Fortune. She said she had 3 kids, her husband, and their dog, Sam. Harvey's career flourished. By the late 1980s, he was running big ads in local newspapers for his new cosmetic and restorative dentistry practice, which touted free smile evaluations and new technology, as seen on ABC's Extreme Makeover. He changed the name of his practice to Adelson Institute for Aesthetics and Implant Dentistry, as he quickly made a name for himself in the lucrative business of cosmetic dentistry. The couple bought a 5-bedroom home on a cul-de-sac in Coral Springs. When their son Robert expressed an interest in tennis, Harvey installed a tennis court in the backyard. Newspaper photos caught the couple dancing at charity balls and fundraisers. Harvey acted as a treasurer for one of Graeber's election campaigns and was also involved in supporting a new school of dentistry at Nova Southeastern University. They had a lot of friends and a lot of parties, Graeber recalled. The kids all had manners, were courteous and very polite. Nobody got in trouble. I used to call Donna Reed, was the namesake, Donna Reed, the perfect mother. Reed was the namesake star of a popular TV sitcom about a wholesome homemaker and family that ran in the late 50s and early 60s. Growing up, daughter Wendy was keenly aware of how fortunate she was to be in a well-to-do family focused on success and education. At 16, while a top student at Taravella High School, Wendy won awards for creating a nonprofit that collected toys and education materials for poor children. I was thinking about the advantages I had, Wendy said in an interview with the Miami Herald in 1995. All kids don't get the same start, and I wished everyone got the same educational opportunities as I had. Over the years, Donna Adelson took control of all aspects of her children's future, pushing them to become successful, overseeing their schooling, organizing their play dates, sending them to summer camp, shuttling them to and from their extracurricular activities. Son Robert, in a podcast about the case, said that Donna Adelson and sometimes Harvey even signed off on who they dated. All 3 Adelson children excelled in college. Robert, the oldest, graduated summa cum laude and Phi Beta Kappa from Tulane and graduated with honors from the University of South Florida College of Medicine with a specialty in otolaryngology. Charles Addison attended the University of Central Florida, receiving a bachelor's degree in micro and molecular biology in 1999, and Nova Southeastern University, from which he received a degree in dentistry, later becoming a periodontist in his father's practice. Wendy studied peace and conflict studies at Bernays University, where she graduated magna cum laude in 2001, then obtained her master's at the University of Cambridge before earning her law degree in 2006 from the University of Miami. There was one particularly important parental desire. The Adelsons, who were members of the Reformed Temple Beth Or in Coral Springs, believed their children should marry within their faith. Robert, however, met and fell in love with a woman who was Indian American and practiced Hinduism. His parents refused to accept him marrying her. In an interview for the Over My Dead Body podcast, Robert Adelson said that for years his parents had threatened to disown him if he married his girlfriend, who was also a doctor. In 2003, he finally broke it off and married a nice Jewish girl from Dallas, he said in the podcast. The engagement was proudly announced by his parents in the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. But it didn't last. The couple divorced and Robert reunited with his former girlfriend. To his surprise, his parents attended their traditional Hindu wedding ceremony. I do think my parents did everything they could do to make things better, Robert said in the podcast. But there was still a rift in the family which didn't seem to heal, he said. He and his wife lived near Albany, New York. He could not be reached for comment. Charlie, the son convicted last month in plotting the hit, was having different issues, some professional ones. Charlie is a risk taker, Graeber said. I've known him since he was 4 years old. He's a playboy. a middle child. He has delusions of grandeur. In his mind, he wants to be James Bond, but he is just a periodontist. Public records show Charlie was sanctioned twice by the state of Florida in 2015 and in 2023 for improper implant placement that led to nerve damage, according to state records. He had to pay $187,000 for malpractice and later $7,000 to the Florida Board of Dentistry in fines and investigation costs. He also received a reprimand on his license in 2019. Wendy, meanwhile, making a name for herself in the legal profession, but had not yet checked the marriage box. Donna, according to numerous media reports, would help pick her husband, Markel, through a Jewish dating site. To everyone, they seemed to be the perfect, accomplished power couple. Dan, a native of Toronto, was a Harvard-educated lawyer who specialized in criminal law and wrote extensively about crime, punishment, and family. Wendy focused on immigration, child advocacy, and disability rights. Their lavish February 2006 wedding in Boca Raton, announced in the New York Times, was attended by over 200 people. Within a few short years, it was clear they would not live happily ever after. The family's matriarch's hopes for Jewish grandchildren seemed to rest with Wendy, who had moved with her husband to Tallahassee, where both taught at Florida State University. They had 2 boys and had settled in with new friends in a nice upscale neighborhood. Still, Wendy soon became disenchanted as Markel's career took off, while her career took a back seat to raising the children. In a foreshadowing, Wendy Adelson published a fictional book in 2011 in which the female protagonist lawyer leaves her condescending husband. What happened next has been documented in numerous court hearings. Shortly thereafter, Wendy left Markel, taking the kids and half of the furniture in the house while he was on a business trip in New York. When he came back home, he had been served divorce papers. Although the divorce was finalized in 2013, the litigation over custody of the children became brutal. Court records show that a Leon County judge denied Wendy's motion to relocate her kids to South Florida. Emails between Donna and her daughter shown at Charlie's trial revealed steel beneath the Donna Reed image. She first told Wendy the family could offer Markel $1 million to let the children move to South Florida, and when Wendy refused to do so, Donna then instructed her to threaten Markel, a strict conservative, that she would convert their children to Catholicism if he didn't back down, according to the emails shown in court. Markel dug in, filing a motion to not allow his children unsupervised visits with Donna Adelson because he claimed Donna had disparaged him to his kids, according to a court pleading in the case. The motion was still pending at the time of Markel's murder. After Markel's death, Donna and Harvey Adelson relocated to Miami Beach with Wendy and the 2 boys. Wendy also changed the boys' last names from Markel to Adelson. For years, police and prosecutors pointed to Charlie as a suspect in arranging the murder of Markel, who was shot in his Tallahassee driveway. In a 2019 trial of one of the hitmen, he was labeled as unindicted co-conspirator. An attorney for Charlie and Donna at the time denied any family role in the slaying. Before Charlie was charged and finally tried in November, 3 others had previously been convicted and sentenced in the murder. Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera, the 2 hitmen, and Catherine McManawal, Charlie Adelson's former girlfriend and the go-between who introduced Charlie to the hitman. Garcia and McManawal received life sentences, and Rivera, a former gang leader of the Latin Kings in North Miami who cooperated with authorities, is serving 19 years. Charlie testified in his own defense, claiming that he and his family were victims of an elaborate extortion plot orchestrated by the killers. His attorneys told jurors that Garcia and Rivera had learned that Charlie had discussed hiring someone to kill Markel, then decided to commit the murder on their own and threatened to kill Charlie if he didn't pay them. Wendy, who was given limited immunity to testify at the trial, insisted that neither she nor her family had anything to do with her ex-husband's murder. But following 8 days of testimony, a Tallahassee jury came to a quick, no-doubt conclusion, deliberating for just 3 hours before finding Charlie Adelson guilty on 3 counts, including first-degree murder. Afterwards, Markel's family, parents Ruth and Phil and sister Shelley, discussed the deep wounds left in the wake of Dan's murder. "This has been a really long and terrible ordeal for all of us," Shelley Markel told the reporters. "It's taken a long toll on our lives, and there's a real sense of relief today." Following the guilty verdict, Donna Adelson made multiple phone calls to Charlie, recorded by authorities, that ultimately led to her arrest as a co-conspirator in the plot. Adelson told her son she was getting things in order, creating trust, and making sure her grandchildren were taken care of. Authorities said she told him about a plan to flee to a non-extradition country. According to her arrest affidavit, she also discussed a plan for suicide. Prosecutors alleged Donna Adelson's key role was to help plan and finance the slaying, with the motivation that the family would be able to raise Wendy's children in South Florida without Markel's interference. The final price for the murder, they say, was $100,000. While her son awaits sentencing, Donna Adelson is being held without bond at the Leon County Jail pending her next court hearing. Despite the string of convictions and arrests, Graber still felt compelled to write a column defending the family for the Tallahassee Democrat for this week. He said he also recently spoke to his old friend, Donna's husband Harvey, to offer his support. "All I see is the demonization of the family in the news and on the podcast. It's a one-sided picture," Graber said. "Harvey is like in a daze, teary-eyed, choking up. He told me, 'I don't know what's going on here, but I can tell you this, none of it is true.'" So there you go, y'all. That's a different side of the story, according to a Ben Graber who's known the Adelsons for over 40 years. What do you think? I mean, look at it, just common sense. We all know that common sense is the best way to look at it. I guarantee you that on the wake of the trial, as they are starting to select jury members, common sense is going to be brought up time and time again, and ultimately we all know it takes common sense to be able to get to the truth of the matter. So leave your comments. Let me know what you think. You know, there was a couple of comments yesterday where there was at least one I remember said that they didn't think that Donna Adelson had done anything wrong, that they felt like it was Charlie and Wendy who were the masterminds of all this. You know, everybody has a different theory, and they should follow that theory through the evidence and then really find out for themselves. I think many of y'all know that there were times that whole idea of who was the mastermind or what was the motive behind the murder can change over time. But we ain't got a lot of time because that trial is September the 17th. And folks, I'm ready to go. I hope you're ready to go. I appreciate everyone allowing me to go through this with all of y'all. I appreciate all the positive thoughts and love and all the things that y'all have said in the comments. I'll read every dang one of them. I've missed you all. I'm glad I'm here. We're going to get back together, y'all. And most importantly, when it comes to justice through understanding, you got to keep on looking.